Hey everyone, welcome back to English Podcast Center. I hope you're having a good day, or at least a manageable day. Maybe you're listening while drinking coffee. Maybe you're cooking dinner. Or maybe you're just lying in bed thinking, why is learning English so hard sometimes?
Wow, Emma, that got emotional really fast. But honestly, if someone is listening to this while staring at the ceiling and questioning their life choices, we see you. We understand.
We really do. And today's topic feels incredibly personal because I know so many English learners struggle with this. Let me ask you something. Have you ever understood almost everything in English, but when it was time to speak, your brain suddenly stopped working? You know the words, you know the grammar, you even understand movies or podcasts, but when someone asks you a simple question in English, you freeze?
Oh no, not the freeze. That scary moment where your brain suddenly says, "Sorry, system unavailable. Please try again later."
Exactly. And maybe you say things like, sorry, my English is bad, or you stay quiet because you're afraid of making mistakes. And afterward, you replay the conversation in your head, and suddenly your English becomes amazing.
Oh my gosh, why does that always happen? Like 3 hours later in the shower, suddenly you become fluent. You start giving TED Talks to the shampoo bottles.
Exactly, Jason. And if this sounds like you, today's episode might make you feel a lot better because we're talking about something millions of learners secretly struggle with: why you understand English but still can't speak it.
And trust me, if you've ever felt embarrassed, nervous, or frustrated about speaking English, this episode is definitely for you.
And before we start, if you enjoy learning English through real conversations like this, don't forget to subscribe and join us. Also, try to listen until the end. Later, we'll do a relaxing shadowing practice together. You can repeat real English sentences with us and build speaking confidence naturally.
Honestly, Emma, I think a lot of people listening right now are probably thinking, wait, are they talking about me?
Probably, because this problem is so common. And the sad part, many learners blame themselves. They think, maybe I'm not smart, maybe I'm too old, maybe my English is terrible. But honestly, most of the time, that's not true at all.
You know what, Emma? This reminds me of my friend Daniel. And wow, his story was painfully relatable.
Oh, really? What happened?
Okay, so Daniel had studied English for years, and when I say years, I mean years. Grammar books, vocabulary apps, English podcasts, YouTube videos, movies with subtitles. Honestly, he was doing everything,
That sounds familiar already.
right? And one day, he finally got the chance to speak English with a tourist. Big moment, main character energy. He was excited, confident, ready. And then the tourist asked, "Excuse me, where can I get coffee around here?"
Oh no, I already know where the story is going.
Daniel completely froze. Completely. He looked terrified, like someone asked him to solve rocket science.
But he understood the question, right?
Perfectly. That's the painful part. He understood everything, but his brain just stopped. And after 10 very awkward seconds, he said, "Coffee is yes?"
Jason, please tell me you're joking.
I wish I was. And then, because he panicked, he pointed in a random direction. Completely random.
No, poor tourist, poor Daniel.
Honestly, I still think about that tourist sometimes. Still walking, still searching for coffee.
Okay, that's funny, but also kind of heartbreaking because I think so many English learners have moments like that. Maybe not exactly the coffee situation, but that feeling of, I know this, so why can't I say it?
Exactly. And I think that feeling can really hurt your confidence because after moments like that, people start thinking, maybe I'm just bad at English.
And that's the part that makes me sad, because usually the problem isn't intelligence, it's not age, and honestly, it's not even your English level.
Wait, then what is it?
Okay, Jason, imagine this. Understanding English and speaking English are actually two different skills.
Wait, really?
Yeah, think about sports. Watching basketball is very different from playing basketball. You can understand the game, know the rules, know what's happening, but when you actually play, there's pressure. You have to react fast, move quickly, think quickly.
Oh, so understanding English is like watching. Speaking English is like actually playing the game.
Exactly. And speaking is hard because your brain is doing so many things at once. You're thinking about vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, confidence, what the other person said, what you want to say next, and maybe you're also nervous.
Wow, when you explain it like that, honestly, I'm stressed just listening.
Exactly. And stress makes speaking even harder because when we feel nervous, our brains slow down, words disappear, easy sentences suddenly become impossible.
This explains something I hear all the time. People say, at home, my English is okay, but in real conversations, I forget everything.
Yes, because there's pressure, and pressure changes everything. But there's another reason too, and honestly, this one might surprise some people. Most English learners spend years understanding English, but very little time actually speaking English out loud.
Oof, that truth hurts a little. Like, I watched 600 hours of YouTube. Cool, but did you speak? No.
Exactly. And listen, there's no judgment here. Life gets busy. People feel shy. Some people don't have speaking partners. Others feel embarrassed. Or maybe they're afraid of sounding silly.
Can I be honest? I think fear is a huge reason. Fear of mistakes, fear of embarrassment, fear of people judging your accent.
Absolutely. And here's something important for everyone listening. You do not need perfect English to speak English. You really don't. Communication matters more than perfection.
Honestly, Emma, I think social media makes this harder too, because people see confident English speakers online and think, why can't I speak like that?
Exactly. But what people don't see is the struggle, the awkward conversations, the mistakes, the embarrassing moments, the years of practice. Nobody posts videos saying, "Hey guys, today I forgot 5 basic words and almost cried in public."
Actually, I would watch that. Very relatable content.
Same. But Jason, this reminds me of someone I met recently, and honestly, her story changed the way I think about language learning.
Oh? What happened?
Well, her name was Sophia, and one day she told me something that honestly broke my heart a little. She looked at me and quietly said, "Emma, I think my English is broken."
Oh, wow. That sentence feels heavy.
It really was, because when I asked why, she told me something I think millions of learners secretly feel. And honestly, what happened to her next was painfully relatable.
Okay, Emma, you can't stop there. Seriously. You said, my English is broken, and then just moved on. What happened to Sophia?
I know. Okay, so after she said that, I asked her, "Why do you feel that way?" And Jason, her answer honestly made me really sad.
Uh-oh, this already sounds emotional.
She said, "Emma, I understand English. I watch videos. I listen to podcasts. I even think in English sometimes. But when real people talk to me, I panic. And then I forget everything."
Wow, that sentence, I forget everything, I hear so often. And honestly, I think people feel embarrassed saying it.
Exactly. And then she told me something really personal. She said she had avoided speaking English for almost 2 years.
Wait, avoided it, like completely?
Pretty much. She told me, if someone speaks English to me, I smile, I panic, and then I try to escape.
Oh no, that's actually kind of relatable. Like when someone suddenly asks you a question and your soul leaves your body.
Jason, why is that so accurate?
Because panic has a very specific feeling. It's like your brain suddenly says, "Congratulations, you now know zero English."
Exactly. And honestly, a lot of learners think this means they're bad at English, but usually it means something completely different.
Okay, Emma, I feel like this is the important part. Tell us, what's really happening?
Okay, imagine this. Your English knowledge is inside your brain like a huge closet. You have vocabulary, grammar, expressions, listening skills, everything is there. But when someone suddenly speaks to you, you only have maybe 2 seconds to open that closet and find the right words.
Oh, wow, that image makes so much sense. Like everything is inside the closet, but suddenly it's dark, you're stressed, and somehow all the useful words disappear.
Exactly. And stress makes it worse because fear changes how your brain works. When you're nervous, your brain focuses on survival, not language.
Wait, so you're saying when people freeze speaking English, they're not stupid?
Not at all. Actually, their brains are overwhelmed, and that changes everything because suddenly they're thinking, don't make mistakes, don't sound weird. What if they laugh? What if I say the wrong thing?
Oh, wow, that inner voice is brutal. And honestly, sometimes we're way meaner to ourselves than other people are.
Exactly. And can I say something important? Most people do not care if your English is perfect. Seriously. They care if they understand you. That's it.
Yes, and honestly, people are usually kinder than we think. I once met someone who spoke very broken English, lots of mistakes. But you know what? Everyone loved talking to him.
Why?
Because he was confident, funny, kind, and he kept trying. Nobody cared about grammar mistakes.
That's such an important point. Confidence changes everything. Not perfect English. Confidence. And honestly, confidence comes from practice, not waiting.
Oof, that one hurts. Because I think so many learners secretly wait for a magical moment. Like, okay, when my English becomes perfect, then I'll speak.
Exactly. But here's the truth. That moment never comes. You become better at speaking by speaking, even messy speaking, even awkward speaking, even embarrassing speaking.
Honestly, embarrassing speaking might be the most powerful kind.
Why do you say that?
Because embarrassment creates memories, and memories teach lessons. Like, I still remember the time I accidentally ordered something very strange in another language.
Oh no, this sounds dangerous. What happened?
Okay, I wanted grilled chicken, simple, very normal. But apparently I said something completely different, and the waiter looked confused, very confused.
Jason, what did you order?
I honestly don't know, but whatever I said, everyone around me started laughing.
No, that sounds horrifying.
At the time, absolutely. I wanted to disappear, but now it's funny. And guess what? I never forgot that vocabulary again.
That's actually such a good lesson. Mistakes feel painful in the moment, but sometimes they help us improve faster.
Exactly. And honestly, people forget your mistakes way faster than you think.
So true. But Jason, there's another reason many learners struggle to speak, and this one surprised even me.
Oh, what is it?
They spend too much time translating.
Wait, that's me. I mean, that used to be me.
Exactly. A lot of learners do this. First, they think in their native language, then translate into English, then check grammar, then worry about pronunciation, and by that time, the conversation is already over.
Oh, wow, that is painfully accurate. Meanwhile, the other person is already talking about something completely different.
Exactly. And that's why speaking feels slow and stressful, because your brain is doing too much work.
So what should people do instead?
Start smaller, much smaller. Don't try to sound perfect. Try to sound clear. Simple sentences are powerful, like, I think so. I'm not sure. Can you repeat that? Give me a second. These little phrases save conversations.
Oh, wow. Actually, those phrases feel really useful because sometimes learners think they need big, fancy vocabulary.
Exactly, but real conversations are full of simple English, very simple English. Native speakers use short sentences all the time.
Honestly, that makes me feel better because sometimes people imagine fluent English like a movie speech.
No, real English is messy. People pause, forget words, correct themselves, even native speakers.
Wait, native speakers forget words too?
All the time. Sometimes I literally stop and say, "What's that word?" You know, the thing.
Oh, wow, that's comforting. Because learners often think, if I forget words, I'm failing.
No, you're being human. And actually, this reminds me of something Sophia did a few weeks later. Something small, but honestly, it completely changed her confidence.
Wait, the same Sophia?
Yep, and what she did sounds incredibly simple, but it worked way better than she expected.
Okay, Emma, now I'm officially invested in Sophia's story now. You can't keep saying something embarrassing happened and then just stop. What happened?
Okay, so remember how Sophia was terrified of speaking English?
Yep, smile, panic, escape. Honestly, very relatable.
Exactly. Well, after we talked, she decided something had to change because she was tired of understanding English, but feeling frozen every time she tried to speak. And one day she told herself, "Okay, I'm going to stop waiting."
Ooh, that sounds powerful already.
Kind of, but also very awkward because her first practice session was honestly a disaster.
Oh no, what happened?
She started talking to herself in English.
Wait, like full conversations?
Yes, at home, completely alone.
Honestly, that sounds a little scary. Imagine someone walking by the window.
Jason, be nice.
I'm sorry, but imagine hearing, "Good morning, Jason. How are you today?" And nobody else is there.
Okay, fair. But honestly, it worked. At first, she hated it. She felt awkward, embarrassed. She kept stopping because she didn't know words. But instead of giving up, she kept going.
What kinds of things did she say?
Very simple things, like, "Okay, I need coffee. I'm tired today. What should I eat? I need to finish work." Little things, nothing fancy, no difficult vocabulary, just real life.
Oh, wow, that actually feels doable.
Exactly. And something interesting started happening. Her brain became faster. She stopped translating every sentence. Little by little, English started feeling more natural.
Okay, wait, that actually makes sense. Because it's like exercise, right? At first, your muscles feel weak, but the more you practice, the easier it becomes.
Exactly. Speaking is a skill, not magic. And honestly, this is something many learners don't hear enough. You do not become confident first. You practice first. Then confidence slowly comes later.
Oof, that sentence feels important. Because I think people wait for confidence. Like, once I feel ready, then I'll speak.
Exactly. But confidence usually comes after uncomfortable moments, not before.
Honestly, that explains life too. Nobody feels confident doing something new.
Exactly. And then something funny happened to Sophia.
Oh?
One morning, she went to buy coffee, and suddenly the cashier spoke English.
Oh no, not surprise English. That's dangerous.
Very dangerous. Apparently, the cashier was practicing English too, and he asked, "Busy day today?" Simple question, very normal.
And let me guess, panic mode?
That's what usually happened. But this time, something changed. She paused, took a breath, and said, "Yeah, kind of busy, actually."
Wait, she answered?
She did. And guess what? The conversation continued. Nothing dramatic, nothing perfect, just normal, simple. human.
Oh, wow. That actually feels emotional. Because I bet that tiny moment felt huge to her.
It really did. She told me, Emma, for the first time, I didn't freeze.
Wow, that sentence actually gave me chills.
And honestly, that's when she realized something important. The problem was never, I can't speak English. The real problem was, I'm afraid to speak imperfect English.
Oh, wow, that hit hard.
Because once she stopped chasing perfection, everything became easier. Not easy, just easier.
And honestly, that feels way more realistic, because language learning isn't magic. It's tiny progress, tiny wins, tiny, awkward conversations.
Exactly. And if you're listening right now thinking, that sounds like me, I want you to hear this. You are not failing. Seriously, if you understand English, that already means your brain is learning. Speaking just needs practice. That's all.
And honestly, you're probably better than you think. Most learners are way too hard on themselves.
So true. People think, if I make mistakes, I sound stupid. No, you sound like someone learning, and that's brave.
Can we normalize awkward English conversations, please?
Honestly, yes, because awkward conversations are how fluency starts.
Imagine if babies waited to speak perfectly. Nobody would ever talk.
Exactly. Babies make mistakes for years, but adults, one mistake and suddenly that's it, I quit.
Honestly, we're way too dramatic sometimes.
Jason, that sounded personal.
It absolutely was.
But before we move on, I want to leave everyone listening with one simple idea. Stop asking, why can't I speak perfectly? Start asking, how can I practice a little today? Small practice matters. Tiny progress matters. Even 5 minutes matters.
Honestly, that feels comforting, because suddenly, English feels less scary.
Exactly. And before we finish today's conversation, let's go through some really useful English phrases we used naturally in this episode. Simple phrases, real English, things you can actually use in everyday conversations.
Okay, I'm ready. And honestly, I might steal some of these for myself.
All right, everyone. Before we finish, let's slow things down a little. We used a lot of natural English expressions today. Simple phrases, real-life English, the kind people actually use.
Which is good news, because nobody walks around speaking like an English textbook. Imagine someone saying, "Greetings, I am experiencing emotional instability due to language-related concerns."
Jason, absolutely not.
Exactly. Real English is way simpler.
So let's go through some useful phrases together. And don't worry, we'll keep this super easy. 1. Freeze. Phrase, I freeze, meaning you suddenly feel nervous and can't think or speak. Simple example, I freeze when people speak English to me.
Honestly, my brain freezes when someone asks me difficult questions before coffee.
That feels very real. 2. Go blank. Phrase, my mind goes blank, meaning you suddenly forget everything. Simple example, my mind goes blank during conversations.
Very relatable, especially during important meetings or when someone says, "So tell us about yourself." Terrifying.
Honestly, that question scares so many people. 3. Take a breath. Phrase, take a breath before speaking. Simple example, take a breath before answering.
Honestly, this one helps. Sometimes we panic too quickly.
Exactly. Slow down. You don't need to answer instantly. 4. Kind of. Phrase, kind of, meaning a little, not completely. Simple example, I am kind of nervous.
Native speakers say this all the time, like, I'm kind of tired. It's kind of difficult. It's kind of funny. Very useful phrase.
Yes, and it sounds super natural. 5. Actually. Phrase, actually, meaning used to add or correct information naturally. Simple example, actually, I understand English pretty well.
I love this word. It makes conversations sound natural. But Emma, sometimes people say it dramatically, like actually.
Dramatic music starts. Jason, please stop turning everything into a movie.
Never.
6. Little by little. Phrase, little by little, meaning slowly over time. Simple example, little by little, my English improved.
Honestly, this phrase feels comforting because language learning is slow sometimes.
Exactly, and that's okay. Slow progress is still progress. 7. Give me a second. Phrase, give me a second, meaning, wait a moment, I'm thinking.
This one is powerful because sometimes learners panic if they don't answer immediately. But you can pause. That's normal.
Exactly. Native speakers pause too, all the time. Phrase, I'm not sure, meaning, you don't know the answer. Simple example, I'm not sure, but I think so.
Honestly, this phrase can save conversations because you don't always need perfect answers.
Exactly. Simple English works. Phrase, keep going, meaning, don't stop. Continue. Simple example, keep going, your English will improve.
Honestly, I think a lot of people listening need to hear that today.
Me too. Phrase, you're not alone, meaning, other people feel the same way. Simple example, if speaking English feels hard, you're not alone.
And honestly, this might be my favorite phrase today because I think so many learners feel lonely, like they're the only one struggling.
But you're not. Millions of people feel exactly the same, and honestly, you're doing better than you think.
Okay, Emma, I feel like this is the perfect moment for shadowing practice.
Yes, because now it's your turn to speak with us. And don't worry, we'll go slow. Simple sentences, real English. No pressure, just practice. Part 5. Shadowing Practice. All right, everyone, this is your time to speak. If you've been quietly listening until now, great job. But remember, listening helps. Speaking builds confidence. So let's practice together.
And don't worry, this is a judgment-free zone. Nobody is grading your English. Nobody is watching. Well, hopefully nobody is watching.
Jason.
Sorry, please continue.
Okay, everyone. Here's how shadowing works. First, listen to the sentence, then pause and repeat after us. Don't worry about being perfect. Just speak naturally. Ready? Let's begin. Sometimes I understand English, but I can't speak. Say it again. Sometimes I understand English, but I can't speak.
Good. Nice and slow. No pressure.
I feel nervous when I speak English. Again, I feel nervous when I speak English.
And honestly, that feeling is completely normal.
Give me a second, I'm thinking. One more time. Give me a second, I'm thinking.
This one is super useful. Instant confidence boost.
Can you repeat that, please? Again, can you repeat that, please?
Very useful, because sometimes your ears panic too.
Jason.
I'm being honest.
I'm not sure, but I'll try. Again, I'm not sure, but I'll try.
Honestly, that sentence feels powerful.
Little by little, I'm getting better. One more time. Little by little, I'm getting better.
I really like this one. Feels motivating.
Me too. I don't need perfect English to communicate. Again, I don't need perfect English to communicate.
Ooh, that one feels important.
It's okay to make mistakes. Again, it's okay to make mistakes.
Honestly, everyone needs to hear this sometimes.
I want to speak English more confidently. Again, I want to speak English more confidently.
And confidence comes with practice, not magic.
Exactly. Okay, everyone, now let's try a tiny real-life conversation. Listen first, then repeat together. Ready? Hey, how are you today?
I'm kind of busy, actually, but I'm okay.
That's good to hear. Busy day?
Yeah, kind of, but I'm doing my best.
Great job. And remember, you don't have to sound perfect. You just need to practice, little by little.
And honestly, if you spoke out loud today, even a little, that already matters. Because speaking confidence grows from tiny moments, tiny practice, tiny wins.
Exactly. And before we go, there's one last thing we want to tell you, especially if English has been feeling frustrating lately.
Yeah, because if you've ever thought, maybe I'm not good at English, we need to talk about that for a second. Before we finish today's episode, we want to tell you something important, something we genuinely hope you remember. If you understand English, even a little, you are already making progress. Seriously. Maybe your speaking still feels difficult. Maybe you still freeze sometimes. Maybe you still feel nervous. That's okay, really, because learning a language takes time.
And honestly, sometimes way more time than people expect. Like, why does language learning feel so dramatic sometimes? One good day and you're like, wow, I'm improving. And then the next day, you forget one word and suddenly, that's it, my English journey is over.
Jason, that feels strangely personal.
Very personal.
But seriously, if speaking English feels hard right now, please don't give up. Because difficulty does not mean failure. It usually means growth. It means your brain is learning something new. And yes, sometimes growth feels awkward, sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes frustrating. But that doesn't mean you're doing badly.
Actually, can I say something to everyone listening?
Of course.
If you've ever felt embarrassed speaking English, I just want you to know you're not alone. Seriously, millions of people feel exactly the same. That nervous feeling? Normal. Making mistakes? Normal. Forgetting words? Very normal.
And honestly, mistakes are not proof that you're bad at English. They're proof that you're trying, and trying matters a lot.
Also, can we stop waiting for perfect English? Because honestly, perfect is exhausting.
Exactly. Instead of asking, when will I speak perfectly, try asking, what small thing can I practice today? Maybe 5 minutes, maybe one sentence, maybe speaking out loud while making coffee. Small practice matters.
Honestly, that sounds way less scary.
Exactly. Little by little. That's how confidence grows. And one day, you'll suddenly notice something. You answered a question in English without freezing. You had a small conversation. You understood more. You spoke more. And you'll realize, wait, I'm actually improving.
And trust me, that moment feels amazing.
So before we go today, we want to ask you something, and we'd really love to hear your answer. What is the hardest part about speaking English for you? Is it confidence, vocabulary, fear of mistakes, or maybe your mind just goes blank? Tell us in the comments. You might be surprised how many people feel exactly the same.
And if today's episode made you feel a little less alone or a little more motivated, don't forget to subscribe and join us for more real English conversations.
We'll keep helping you learn English naturally, one conversation at a time. No pressure, no perfection, just real progress.
And remember, you do not need perfect English to start speaking. You just need courage to begin.
Take care, everyone. Be patient with yourself and keep going. Little by little, you're getting better.
See you in the next episode. And hey, be nicer to yourself this week, okay? Learning English is hard enough already.
Bye, everyone, and thanks for spending time with us today.